Before I start, I just want to say, I have a cold, so my voice is kind of shaky. But anyway, this is part 3 of What If Deku Could Cultivate, as the teachers came in and started to rush the dead students, as they then carried them out. After the battle had ended, Deku was then forced to explain his origins to the school board, as Aizawa grilled him with open-ended negative questions. As I wrapping up, he said, "You're related to Izai, the world's most powerful man, the most evil man to have ever been born on the planet Earth. And you thought you could just come to UA without telling us?" As you can see, I'm not very fond of my father or my relatives, and I honestly don't see how any of my life is any of your business. It is my business when it can potentially harm my students. If you cared so much about your students, then why don't you stop them? Oh wait, you're too weak. And not just you, but everyone at the school is too weak. Because that's uncalled for. Uncalled for. You're grilling me, trying to incriminate me. Making me tell you my terrible past and upbringing is uncalled for. Especially when I'm the only reason why you're alive. You should be on your knees praising the fact that I decided to go to this school. Be that as it may, we can't trust you. Trust me. If it weren't for me, All Might and all of you would have been dead. As All Might said, "I'm sorry, Izuku, but we must put you on probation from UA." Are you serious? After everything I did for you people? As All Might said, "I'm sorry, young man, it's out of my hands." As he said, "Fine, screw you anyways," as Deku walked out of the room and slammed the door. As All Might said, "We probably should have kept him, since he's the only one that can stand a chance against Izai." As Aizawa said, "It's fine, he'll be back." As everyone stared at him as he murmured, "Eventually." As Deku's uncle Iru said, "Does this actually bother you?" To be honest, no. Now I'll just have more time to train. But what about your hero license? I don't know, I'll just enroll into a smaller hero school. Oh well, in that case, I'll teach you a mind control technique, so you don't have to deal with people questioning you and stuff. As Deku then learned to control those with weaker Ki than him. As Deku then went home and explained his situation to Inko, as she held him in her arms and accepted his decision. As Deku then trained for a few months, and then transferred to a different hero school. As the teacher then said, "This is Izuku Midoriya. He transferred from UA." As people said, "Whoa, UA, huh?" As the strongest person in the class with sound power said, "What's so special about UA? I could have been put into UA too." "Oh, and why didn't you?" said Deku. "Well, I didn't pass when I took the recommendation exam." "Oh, well, Todoroki, who actually passed the exam, simply told me it was a race in speed, and that you couldn't even pass that. So how good are you? You're not even worth second place." Pathetic. "Well, if you're so good, then why did you leave?" "They simply couldn't handle me." "And what, you thought this school would be able to?" No. No school can handle me. I simply thought I could spread my superiority to the less fortunate." As the sound student raised his hand, the teacher then said, "Satsuki, stop. And Izuku, take a seat." As Deku walked and sat into a seat next to the window. After attending a whole day of class, Izuku decided that would be a waste of time for him to constantly go to and from class. So the next day, during school, he went to the principal's office and controlled him and told him that he wouldn't be coming to class. Yet as he was leaving the room, he felt demonic cultivators. As he looked out the window, he saw a group of them traveling to what he assumed would be UA. As Iru said, "Do you want to help them?" As Deku replied, "Nah, according to them, I'm suspicious, so they can figure it out on their own." As Deku went home. As the day ended, Iru said, "It's time. You need a training realm, huh? You need to create a realm to cultivate." "Why?" "Normally, you may cultivate for a few hours, but your time is limited to the real world. If you create a cultivation realm, you can slow down the rate of time. 1 hour in the real world is a day in the cultivation realm. Added with the fact that if your father is now aware of your presence, you're going to need a place to escape to in case you're injured." "Oh, okay. So the next time you get injured, you also need to create a healing and cultivation room in this realm. You can retreat in there and heal your wounds. And you can use a cultivation room to refine your body." "What would I use to refine my body?" "Ki. Ki is in everything. It is a natural energy that exists in everything. It's all around us. for it is the true essence of life. So to capture and use life energy to refine yourself, you must find the most natural forces. In English, please. In English, you need strong forces. Electricity, lightning, magma, fire. Extreme winds, extreme surges of water, unique materials and objects from nature. Where's the closest mineral? The closest mineral is in the UA training ground, and the UA Sports Festival first place prize. Wait, you're telling me that the giant rock of the person's face they give out is valuable? Yes and no. That giant rock generally consists of high quality Kui stones, but the contents of the stone generally change depending on the year and affluence of UA, being the main determining factor in the materials that are being put in there. Regardless, if you wish to build a Kui realm, you need a significant measure of natural resources to sustain and place things inside the Kui realm. So it would be best if you went back to UA. Damn it. Fine. As Deku, watching the TV with Inko, saw a video of UA being attacked by cultivators, as he then sensed a familiar yet annoying presence outside. As they rang the doorbell, Izuku said, "I'll get it," with a cocky smile on his face. As he opened the door and said, Well, look who it is. Hello, Midoriya. Midoriya? Sorry, I don't believe we met. That's improper. You can address me as Mr. Midoriya. Fine, Mr. Midoriya, said Aizawa. I came on behalf of the board to ask if you can come back to UA. And why exactly would I do that? We need you, Midoriya. You're the only one that can stand up against the demonic cult and help protect the students. And what's in it for me? What? What, you want me, a child, to go to your school to risk my life and suffer potential injury to protect a group of people who not only want me to be their personal bodyguard, but also shun me and my origins, for which I had no choice to be a part of. So yes, what is in it for me? As Aizawa, who was silent with his head down in shame, said, Well, what could we provide you with to make you stay? As Deku trying to sell it scoffed, trying to bribe me into covering your sorry ass. Fine. I'll bite. Only if I get a free tuition to UA, and you guys not only pay for my expenses and meals, but also give me 3 of the UA Festival Stone prizes every month. And make sure the designs on my face are intricate. And not only that, but give me fancy suits to go to UA in. I'm not about to be protecting all of you weaklings and be following the dress code. Nah, cause everyone needs to know who's in charge. As Aizawa was about to protest, he remembered the words from the board and said, Fine, Izuku. What did you say? I mean, sorry, Mr. Midoriya. Yeah, that's what I thought. The next day, Deku came back to UA in a blazing golden suit with fresh shades on. As he entered the building, everyone was staring at him, murmuring, Who's that? There was an assembly to announce Deku's presence and position at the school, so every one of the students gathered at the gymnasium. As Deku walked up to the stage with cool music on, he said, It's the big homie, the one and only, Izuku Midoriya. As he then said, seeing as how the demonic cult is too strong, they needed to bring in someone who can stand a chance. So that's why I'm here. So if you ever see a demonic member, say my name and I'll appear. As he raised his hand and put golden seals in everyone's hands that would react to demonic Kui. As they marveled, it slowly disappeared. So if you need me, I'll know. As he disappeared in a burst of sparkling light. As he reappeared on top of a metal beam to stay low-key. As everyone except Bakugo and Ida started clapping. Next week. Now we're currently in the sports festival, as Midnight tells Deku to give a speech since he got the highest score in the entrance exam. As Deku said, I'm gonna keep it short so you don't feel bad when you lose. You already knew who was gonna win when I stepped in here. As he walked off the stage, as Bakugo thought, Damn you, I'll show you I'm the greatest. As the race started, Deku said, I'll give you guys a head start, as he simply waited and walked. As everyone was rushing to get to the finish line. As Todoroki was about to beat Bakugo to the finish line, Deku immediately went in front of him and got first place. As Todoroki, confused, then got second place. As Bakugo, mad, got third place. Now to the team game. As Deku got the $3 million headband, everyone rushed him, but he said, Nah, I'm not going to team up with anyone. It would be too unfair since I'm clearly the strongest. Bakugo, hearing this, said, Damn you. As Ida thought, I can't wait to kick that smile off your face. As the round started, Deku with golden Kui wings rose up and observed the fight, as Todoroki shot a wave of ice towards Deku. As Deku, seeing the ice, simply let off a wave of Kui, repelling and destroying the ice. As he smirked and looked at him, as Bakugo, with his team, holding them up, blasted them upwards towards Deku. As Deku said, this could be a good time to test out my new move. As he said, Golden Burst. As his wing flapped towards Bakugo and his group, as a large gust of golden wind pushed them down. As Bakugo kept trying to propel his group towards Deku, Deku easily kept them out of reach until the game was over. Bakugo and Ida, after losing, got mad and simply glared at Deku, as Deku simply looked at them, chuckled, and walked away. Now to the battles. Todoroki versus Deku. As Todoroki shot off a large wave of ice, as Deku, seeing this as an opportunity to cultivate, simply stood still. Todoroki, seeing Deku stand still, kept piling on ice, as he'd been forcing large measures of ice for a total of 5 minutes. As he started to get tired, Iru said, "This isn't gonna last long. You should get up. Your cultivation will be radically changed with this level of ice." The only way to cultivate with ice was to be either find an ice beast, or use the Kui stones in the prize to capture and trap an ice beast into your Kui realm and feed off of its life force. As Deku said, "Alright," and said, "Heavenly Force," as he shot off a giant wave of Kui into all directions. As Cement Man, seeing the Kui, put up large protective layers around the arena, obscuring it from view, protecting the audience. As it began to get damaged, he then put up another protective barrier, as Deku then shot another wave of Kui, destroying the cement, as Deku simply slowly walked around the arena with his hands emanating golden Kui, as he smiled at Todoroki, who was uncovering himself from his ice cocoon, as Todoroki shot off an array of small ice spears towards Deku. Deku, protecting himself with a small Kui barrier, didn't feel his attacks as he said, "We all knew this was gonna happen, but why don't you use your second quirk?" As Todoroki then said, "I refuse to use my father's quirk. I'll beat you with my own power." Your father's power? It's your power. I mean, is your mother's power your power, or is it hers? It's all your quirk, dummy. That's just stupid. As Deku said, "Whatever, let's just finish this." As Deku was about to speed towards Todoroki, Todoroki changed his mind about his fire and shot off a wave of fire towards Deku. As Deku, surprised, listened to the air as he said, "Whoa, now we're talking." As Todoroki started letting off large waves of fire, Endeavor in the stand screamed, "Yes! Yes, Shoto! Burn everything in your path!" As Deku, easily avoiding Todoroki's large volleys of fire, started to try to shape it into spears, but due to his lack of control of his quirk, he was only able to make fire stakes, but nonetheless he shot off hails of fire stakes towards Deku. Deku, wanting to test out his durability, surrounded himself in Kui, but to his astonishment, the fire was still burning. As Todoroki, seeing Deku slightly grimace from the heat, took that as a sign of weakness, and started to shoot hotter flame pikes, as Deku then started to smile and say, "This is good. If you keep improving, you might actually be able to do something to me. But regardless, good stuff." As he blitzed towards Todoroki and pushed him back, hard enough to get outside of the ring, but not hard enough to actually injure him or cause any injury to his body. Everyone in the arena, including Deku, started clapping for Todoroki, because not only had he gained Deku's respect, but he also gained theirs. Now to the Bakugo versus Deku fight. As Bakugo saw Deku, he immediately blasted himself into the air, as Deku, perceiving Bakugo not to be a serious threat, didn't even use his holy wings, and simply used his Kui to fly. As Bakugo then got up in front of Deku, as Deku thought, "Here we go, let's see what the weakling can do," as he let down his Kui barriers, as Iru said, "You shouldn't have done that, this blast can be dangerous." As Bakugo then concentrated all of his energy in Kui and sweat and let off a large full-scale blast at point-blank range to Deku. As Deku then got blasted to the other part of the arena, with a hole in his left side. As Deku started to heal himself, he said, "What the hell? That shouldn't be possible." As Bakugo then said, "While you're away, playing around, I learned to cultivate and harness true power." As Bakugo then started to release some demonic Kui, as he said to Iru, "Why didn't you notice demonic Kui?" "I don't know, he must be wearing something that conceals his power." As he then said, "Look out," as demonic cultivators in the crowd started to shoot Kui chains towards Deku. As he then started to use light transfer to blitz around, Deku, seeing the cultivators, started to look for the help of the heroes, but they are focused on evacuating and protecting all the civilians, instead of helping Deku, because in reality, they were all scared and they didn't want to die. As Bakugo swallowed a Kui pill and started to catch up to Deku, as he then enforced himself with Kui and said, "Demonic Fist," shooting off a large, deadly attack, destroying his side of the arena. As Deku barely dodged, a demonic cultivator shot a large Kui attack towards him. Deku, seeing no other options, summoned the divine avatar Michael, But seeing as how the cultivators weren't attacking the students, and most of the civilians and heroes evacuated, he didn't receive a Qui boost in strength. As a demonic member shot a demonic chain at him, he then caught it on Michael's blade and wrapped it around and pulled him to him, as he then said, "Holy hands!" As his Michael avatar in his hands became wrapped in golden flames, as Michael did a large punch with golden fire, and not only smashed the cult members to the ground, but also burned them to a crisp. As a demonic member in the second level of King's Realm, powered up to his divine avatar with demonic guns, and blasted Deku with large-scale demonic blasts, as Deku then used Michael's shield to block it. But due to the speed of the blast, he couldn't absorb with his shield, as the remaining demonic members started to try to attack Deku from other sides, but they were too weak to actually cause many damage. Bako, seeing this, blitzed behind Deku and let off large-scale blasts, as Deku then started to surround himself with Qui. As the demonic chains latched onto him, they started to drain him of his Qui. He then shot off repeated blasts of heavenly force to push the demonic cultivators back. But seeing as how that wasn't working, he tried to rip the chains off of him. But the king level cultivator saw this and started to empower the chains with his Qui. Bako, seeing the struggle of Deku, said, "Finally, the great Izuku Midoriya falls and returns to his natural place, under me." As Deku calm said, "I'll be damned if I actually die to someone as pathetic as you." As Bako said, "What can you do?" As Deku started to chuckle, "You really haven't noticed?" "Notice what?" "What did you think I was doing in the previous match with Todoroki?" As Deku's hand started to glow gold, as a king-ranked demonic cult member said, "Quickly, escape!" As Deku said, "Hand of God!" As a giant flaming hand the size of the arena appeared from the sky, crushing and destroying everything in the arena, as Deku, unaffected by his own attack, said, "I knew you people were going to attack. During the battle of Todoroki, I marked the arena with the ray lines." As Bako, with half of his body left, puked out blood and said, "You As Deku let down his Qui guard and said, "So how do you want to die?" As Bako, with all the energy he had left, said, "In a blaze of glory." As Deku's face changed, Bako used all the Qui in his meridians and sweat on his body and let off an extremely big blast. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I'm thinking about making a Discord because it kind of annoys me that I can't really address like all of you at the same time, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so I don't have community posts. So whenever I want to actually make a note, I can't say that to every single one of you unless I went individually to all the comments. Even still, I wouldn't be reaching all my subscribers. But yeah, so I'm just trying to work on a few things right now. You know, if you want to help me get an editor, I'm trying to find one. I've seen some on Fiverr that are like $20, so if you guys want to help out, donate to the cause. I'll put my Cashapp and links in the description. Help your boy out, please. And sub. Don't be a bitch. Bye.